Now, with timekeeping, we also have the option, if we go to active employees, we have the ability to allow employees the tracking capability. What that means is they can enter quantities and mark tasks as complete. And you can also make people foremen. And all foreman means is that they have the ability to view, confirm, and enter time for other employees. Click OK. So what I'm going to do is I am going to make Jeff Ridges the foreman, and he also has the ability for tracking. And you'll also notice that with this, there's a little guy with a gear icon. That means he's a foreman. So now if I go to the schedule page and I go to Jose's crew, I see Jeff Ridges has this little gear icon. He's the foreman of this crew. Now while I'm on this page, it's also worth explaining that any foreman by default who has a crew on his page will by default see these people's time for this week. And let me explain this. So let's go here. I'm going to go to Jeff Ridges. His pin is going to be 3333. I'm going to log out and I'm going to log in as Jeff Ridges. Alright, so now I'm logged in as Jeff Ridges, and you can see Seth Franks. Because he's on Jeff's crew, I can see his time for the week. And of course, Seth hasn't put any time in yet, and Jeff hasn't either. So if he wants to, he can enter time right here. If he presses this button, it'll just add his crew. But if he took him off, he says, okay, add my crew, it'll add everybody else that's on his crew. He also has the ability to press this down arrow right here and pick anybody else that happened to be working with him that day who may not have even been scheduled to work with him that day. So he wants to take Carl, and he can put time in for Carl if he needs to. But in this case, he's just going to do Seth. He's going to select the job, and if he has multiple jobs here and starts typing the name, it'll filter the list by all the available jobs that have that name in it. So I'm going to pick Heartland. And because Heartland has tasks associated with it, now I can select a task. Placing concrete was what I was doing. And now I have myself and Jeff. This is the foreman's point of view for putting in time. Had Jeff put in time, there would have been time right here. So I have Seth and Jeff. I'm going to put in time for both of us. So if I want to, I can select all. And then I can enter time by pressing that plus button there. So I could either say we all worked 8 hours today, and 8 hours is going to be applied to both Seth and Jeff. Or I can put a start time in. And it automatically fill the current end time, but if I need to change that, I can. So we put in 10.97 hours. And because I have the quantity feature turned on, I can put a square footage in. We did 1,000 square feet today. And did we take a lunch break during this time? Yes, we did. So it automatically subtracts an hour. I click OK, and now my time's been submitted. So now that the time's been submitted, I can, if I'd like to, I can edit that if I need to. Okay, so if it wasn't 9.97 hours or the start and end time was different, I can edit that as a foreman right up until the point that the admin has received the time and accepted it. We're going to talk about that more later, don't worry. Also, along with my time, if I want to add any notes, photos, or attachments, I can. And those notes, photos, and attachments go under the job. So if I added a photo or a note along with my time, you would be able to see all that under the Heartland Warehouse project, and you would see it in the job message board. But in this case, I'm done. It's going to kick me over to here where there's the rest of the tasks. I could put time to saw cutting, forming, or pouring footings as well. But in this case, I'm completely done for the day, and I'm going to press done. Now my time has been submitted. And the reason why it's this teal color is because I myself, the foreman, have submitted this time. And the reason why I started first with the foreman in submitting time is because I want to show you what it looks like for Seth Franks. I'm going to log out. And I'm going to log in as Seth Franks. I don't know his pin, so let me find out his pin here real quick. His pin is 2222. Seth has time entered for him. It's placing concrete. Here's how many hours were put in, and it was Heartland Warehouse. He gets this little pop-up right here that says Jeff Ridges adjusted your hours. I can press OK if I want to and clear that out. This time that Jeff had put in for him, he cannot edit it. So if he clicks on this and he goes here where that time was, he cannot edit it. But he can see that Jeff has put it in for him. If Seth has access to this and Seth wants to put in his own time, he certainly can. So he can enter time, he can select Nate's patio, and he can enter his hours. In this case, he just says, I did 9 hours. Clicks OK, and he's done. Now, you'll see that this bar graph is yellow. Why is it yellow? It's because Seth is just a regular employee and he put in his own time. We make it stand out with yellow because we want the foreman to also see that, as well as any admin that looks at that time. So I'm going to log back out and I'm going to go back in as his foreman. Now you'll see here that Seth has yellow time that I need to approve. If I click on this myself as the foreman, I can pick that job. So if I click on this, I can look at that. If I need to edit it, I can. And on the payroll side, it'll show you that he has edited that time. So let's just go ahead and do that. No, you weren't there for 9 hours, you were there for 10. And I can confirm that. As soon as I confirm it, I take it over and turn it teal because I'm the foreman, and now that's been approved and done. That's how bulk time entry works. But now let's talk about clock in and clock out. If I go to clock in, I have my crew. I can select the job. I can select whatever task, and then I can just clock everybody in. And if I want to, I can switch the task by pressing this, going here and picking the task that I need to switch to. Now if I want to switch tasks for everybody, I can just press this and everybody can switch. I can put my quantity installed in while I'm at it. In this case here, I want to clock everybody out at the end of the day. I'll put my square footage in. Did we take a break? Yes or no? And now I'm going to clock out. If at any point in time he needs to edit his time, again, he can. We give him that capability. So for saw cutting, he had 0.1 hours. If he needs to edit that, he certainly can. Just a couple other things to explain here on this page is I have clocked in and I have admin. So if they've been clocked in all day, this little bar right here will grow and it'll be gray until they clock out. Admin would mean that any admin person has gone in here and approved time. So let me show you that here. I'm going to log out. I'm going to sign in as a staff person. Let's go to payroll and reports. I have this date range and I want to look at that specific job that they were on. Heartland Warehouse. So I have Jeff and Seth. Now when I look at this, I see that those are teal. But let me reset these filters and show you this is yellow. This means that Carl has put some of his own time in for himself right here. And so what we really try to do is keep the colors coming through all the way through to the end. So we have Carl Jessup in here. He's got time that he's put in for himself. That's yellow, and it's teal because the foreman has put in their own time. Now with Jeff Ridges, let's say that I look at this, and as the administrator, I say, wait, why do we have 0.04 hours in here? I'm going to look at that. I can see that Jeff Ridges created that. I have his location where he clocked in. I can look at that if I need to. And now I'm going to close it. But in this case here, I want to change that. It wasn't 0.04, maybe it was 2 hours. As the admin, I can change that. When I change that, that employee can no longer edit that. And the other thing about it is that I've changed it, so there's a change history with it as well. So if I press this I, it says that Jeff has put it in. It was 0.04, but Tim has changed it to 2. So you have a complete change history as well as my location where I changed it. You'll notice though that if I close this, it still is teal because I still have hours that need to be looked at. I can go in here and say, yep, okay, this looks good, and save it and turn it blue. And you'll notice here that it's turned blue right there. Or I can look at everything and just confirm it that way. Now that it's confirmed, let's log out. Let's go look at what it looks like for the foreman again. All the time now is turned blue because the administrator has now accepted the time. So in this video, we did a lot with the timekeeping stuff. You understand clock in, clock out, and bulk time entry. But on the next video, we're going to really get into payroll and editing time and fixing time for people.